Who is Marilyn Monroe? Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jeane Mortenson, June 1, 1926 to August 4, 1962, was an American actress and model. Known for playing comic, blonde bombshell characters, she became one of the most popular sex symbols of the 1950s and early 1960s, as well as an emblem of the era's sexual revolution. She was a top-billed actress for a decade, and her films grossed $200 million, equivalent to $2 billion in 2023, by the time of her death in 1962. Long after her death, Monroe remains a pop culture icon. In 1999, the American Film Institute ranked her as the 6th greatest female screen legend from the golden age of Hollywood. Born and raised in Los Angeles, Monroe spent most of her childhood in a total of 12 foster homes and an orphanage before marrying James Dougherty at age 16. She was working in a factory during World War II when she met a photographer from the First Motion Picture Unit and began a successful pin-up modeling career, which led to short-lived film contracts with 20th Century Fox and Columbia Pictures. After a series of minor film roles, she signed a new contract with Fox in late 1950. Over the next 2 years, she became a popular actress with roles in several comedies, including As Young as You Feel and Monkey Business, and in the dramas Clash by Night and Don't Bother to Knock. Monroe faced a scandal when it was revealed that she had posed for nude photographs prior to becoming a star, but the story did not damage her career and instead resulted in increased interest in her films. By 1953, Monroe was one of the most marketable Hollywood stars. She had leading roles in the film noir Niagara, which overtly relied on her sex appeal, and the comedies Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and How to Marry a Millionaire, which established her star image as a dumb blonde. The same year, her nude images were used as the centerfold and cover of the first issue of Playboy. Monroe played a significant role in the creation and management of her public image throughout her career, but felt disappointed when typecast and underpaid by the studio. She was briefly suspended in early 1954 for refusing a film project but returned to star in The 7-Year Itch, 1955, one of the biggest box office successes of her career. When the studio was still reluctant to change Monroe's contract, she founded her own film production company in 1954. She dedicated 1955 to building the company and began studying method acting under Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio. Later that year, Fox awarded her a new contract, which gave her more control and a larger salary. Her subsequent roles included a critically acclaimed performance in Bus Stop, 1956, and her first independent production in The Prince and the Showgirl, 1957. She won a Golden Globe for Best Actress for her role in Some Like It Hot, 1959, a critical and commercial success. Her last completed film was the drama The Misfits, 1961. Monroe's troubled private life received much attention as she struggled with addiction and mood disorders. Her marriages to retired baseball star Joe DiMaggio and to playwright Arthur Miller were highly publicized. Both ended in divorce. On August 4, 1962, she died at age 36 from an overdose of barbiturates at her Los Angeles home. Her death was ruled a probable suicide. Top 50 quotes by Marilyn Monroe. I'm selfish, impatient and a little insecure. I make mistakes, I am out of control and at times hard to handle. But if you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best. I believe that everything happens for a reason. People change so that you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so that you appreciate them when they're right. You believe lies so you eventually learn to trust no one but yourself. And sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. This life is what you make it. No matter what, you're going to mess up sometimes, it's a universal truth. But the good part is you get to decide how you're going to mess it up. Girls will be your friends, they'll act like it anyway. But just remember, some come, some go. The ones that stay with you through everything, they're your true best friends. Don't let go of them. Also remember, sisters make the best friends in the world. As for lovers, well, they'll come and go too. And baby, I hate to say it, most of them, actually pretty much all of them are going to break your heart. But you can't give up, because if you give up, you'll never find your soulmate. You'll never find that half who makes you whole, and that goes for everything. Just because you fail once, doesn't mean you're gonna fail at everything. Keep trying, hold on, and always, always, always believe in yourself, because if you don't, then who will, sweetie? So keep your head high, keep your chin up, and most importantly, keep smiling, because life's a beautiful thing and there's so much to smile about. If you can make a woman laugh, you can make her do anything. The real lover is the man who can thrill you by kissing your forehead or smiling into your eyes or just staring into space. A wise girl kisses but doesn't love, listens but doesn't believe, and leaves before she is left. I am good, but not an angel. I do sin, but I am not the devil. I am just a small girl in a big world trying to find someone to love. If you're gonna be two-faced, at least make one of them pretty. It's far better to be unhappy alone than unhappy with someone, so far. I've never fooled anyone. I've let people fool themselves. They didn't bother to find out who and what I was. Instead, they would invent a character for me. I wouldn't argue with them. They were obviously loving somebody I wasn't. When it comes down to it, I let them think what they want. If they care enough to bother with what I do, then I'm already better than them. We should all start to live before we get too old. Fear is stupid. So are regrets. She was a girl who knew how to be happy even when she was sad. And that's important, you know. All little girls should be told they are pretty, even if they aren't. It's not true that I had nothing on. I had the radio on. Beneath the makeup and behind the smile, I am just a girl who wishes for the world. I don't mind living in a man's world, as long as I can be a woman in it. The nicest thing for me is sleep, then at least I can dream. Who said nights were for sleep? You believe lies, so you eventually learn to trust no one but yourself. All we demanded was our right to twinkle. It's often just enough to be with someone. I don't need to touch them. Not even talk. A feeling passes between you both. You're not alone. Dogs never bite me. Just humans. If I'd observed all the rules, I'd never have got anywhere. Success makes so many people hate you. I wish it wasn't that way. It would be wonderful to enjoy success without seeing envy in the eyes of those around you. Keep smiling, because life is a beautiful thing and there's so much to smile about. I want to grow old without facelifts. I want to have the courage to be loyal to the face I have made. Sometimes things fall apart so that better things can fall together. I don't know who invented high heels, but all women owe him a lot. Wanting to be someone else is a waste of the person you are. All a girl really wants is for one guy to prove to her that they are not all the same. I don't mind making jokes, but I don't want to look like one. Sex is part of nature. I go along with nature. You never know what life is like, until you have lived it. We are all born sexual creatures, thank God, but it's a pity so many people despise and crush this natural gift. I restore myself when I'm alone. I just want to be wonderful. It's all make-believe, isn't it? Boys think girls are like books. If the cover doesn't catch their eye, they won't bother to read what's inside. When you have a good friend that really cares for you and tries to stick in there with you, you treat them like nothing. Learn to be a good friend, because one day you're gonna look up and say, I lost a good friend. Learn how to be respectful to your friends. Don't just start arguments with them and don't tell them the reason. Always remember your friends will be there quicker than your family. Learn to remember you got great friends. Don't forget that, and they will always care for you no matter what. Always remember to smile and look up at what you got in life. I don't mind being burdened with being glamorous and sexual. Beauty and femininity are ageless and can't be contrived, and glamour, although the manufacturers won't like this, cannot be manufactured. Not real glamour, it's based on femininity. The body is meant to be seen, not all covered up. Friendship is the bestiest thing that comes to life. Friends will always be there for you. Don't worry about the fakes, worry about the people who had your back from the start and never treated you wrong. Always remember they are your real friends. Don't never take them as granted, because one day you're going to lose a good friend by the way your actions are. When you see a good friend, stick to that person. I have feelings too. I am still human. All I want is to be loved, for myself and for my talent. Quote, I'm not interested in money, I just want to be wonderful. Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. I know, because I turned down the first offer often enough and held out for the 50 cents. What do I wear in bed? Why, Chanel No. 5, of course. I'm very definitely a woman and I enjoy it. I used to think as I looked out on the Hollywood night, there must be thousands of girls sitting alone like me, dreaming of becoming a movie star. But I'm not going to worry about them. I'm dreaming the hardest.